Hello and welcome to Herman Manyora's channel. I'm glad that you've joined us this Sunday for today's political conversation. Always a pleasure to have you every single day. Simon Irungu, Big Question, Richard Mwenja, Business Glide, Marcel Mudo coming on the streets with your opinion out there. Today we're speaking about the Building Bridges Initiative ruling that we're expecting from the Supreme Court. Today, Prof, how are you doing?
I'm okay. I thank God I'm alive and kicking and happy.
Kicking and happy.
Yes.
We're speaking about the Building Bridges Initiative. We're expecting a ruling by the CJ Martha Kome's bench on the same. What is the possibility of the court rejecting the ruling that was made by the appellate court?
You know, this is sub judice, as they say. Although I've never understood the meaning of sub judice. I think we stretch it too far. These are learned men and women. You can't just say something here and you influence them. Yeah. If that were the case, then they will not be judges. But we respect it anyway. So, me is not a question of what is likely to be the ruling. In my case, it is a question of what really is the common sense. What should happen? I said at the appeal court, before the High Court ruling, I said, I expect the High Court to dismiss the case.
To dismiss the case?
They didn't. I was so sure the appeal court will dismiss. They didn't. I'm still so sure the Supreme Court will dismiss the case. Maybe now they will see what I'm seeing. Oh. And they dismiss. They dismiss the High Court and the appeal court.
The lower court. So would that be consequential, especially to the elections that are to come in August?
Earthquake. That will be the earthquake. Forget about Mudavadi. If Mother Kome decides that you cannot stop BBI, at least not in the manner in which the case was presented, that's an earthquake. Earthquake, earth shaking.
Can we be able to have a referendum this year?
You may not have a referendum,
elections.
But you see, look at with the political parties bill now in Senate and most likely going through, and then the Mother Kome favorable ruling for BBI. People now can sit down. They have an infrastructure. They have a formal infrastructure. There is a law. So if you are Kalonzo Musyoka and you are telling your people, I'm going to be prime minister, they can believe you. Because the BBI is going to be put in place immediately after Raila wins. You see? Yeah. So it has serious consequences.
So will we have the referendum, or will we have the
You don't need to have the referendum per se. But it's a promise to a referendum. In other words, you work with Raila knowing so well, immediately after he wins, you are going to do a BBI referendum. Okay. In the course of this year, not next year. He wins in August, he forms government by September, and the referendum is done in October, November.
Will the IBC be able to handle all this?
Why not? This is a simple thing. You know, Kenyans sometimes, simple things are made to look difficult. I've never understood Kenyans. Complex things will make them look very simple. We approach them in a simplistic manner. Simple things we behave as if there are countries where they hold a referendum every other day. Every other day. But they are just there all the time.
When you look at our country, we've seen how IBC has been struggling with the preparation.
IBC has the experience, the tradition, the infrastructure, the system to conduct a seamless referendum at a short notice of just 2 weeks. What is it? They have everything. They have a voter register. They have the kits. They have the personnel. What else would they need to conduct a referendum? In fact, if it's me, that referendum, the only thing that can stop you from having a referendum between now and the election, or on the same day with the election, they can also have it on the same day with the election, is the provision of the 6 months before, this is for constituencies, within the BBI bill, and you can't separate some aspect of that bill. It must go the way it is. There's a provision there that the 70 constituencies must be put in place 6 months before a general election. In the current constitution, is 1 year. This BBI reduces that to 6 months. So, since 6 months is just next month, you can't have that referendum. That BBI referendum now. Okay. It will be too late for now.
But some would argue then.
But or on the same day with the on the same day it can, or it can still be done, so that the only thing that will not happen is you will not have the constituencies. The referendum bill will go through, it will become law. But since 6 months kicking, it will be difficult for you to effect the constituencies.
Yeah.
So the election will be done without the constituencies.
Oh.
But the provision will be there. So it's possible.
So things will. Don't you think it will cause a lot of chaos when it comes to these political parties?
Yeah, it will. It has a possibility of being disruptive. It can increase the heat in an election year. I don't think it would be a good thing to do. No.
So when you look at now, if it sails through and we do have a referendum, maybe after the elections, do you think it will cause a little bit of some tension when people are saying on UDA side saying that we cannot be able, we should
in
not
fact,
change
the election
laws right
will be
now?
the referendum after the election will just be like a walkover. The other people will be nursing their wounds. They will be limping. Ruto and his team will be limping. They will not even participate in the referendum.
You think they
And I've said this before. Let me tell you, between Ruto and Raila, whoever wins, the man who loses should be ready. They will be vanquished.
Completely.
Completely. You will not even have a voice. If you are Raila, you'll go home. You'll never talk.
No, so many people would like to argue with you on that. You made a recommendation on your video. You said we would like to get more videos from our viewers.
Yes.
People who think that, Manyora, you are lying to us. This is why I think Ruto will win the election.
Yes, I want that.
We'll be getting your videos on email, Herman Manyora 2020, Herman Manyora 22 gmail.com at gmail. The email is Herman Manyora.
Herman Manyora 22 at gmail.com. Herman Manyora 22 at gmail.com. You put it down there for them to
it's
caption
right down
it down.
on the screen. Look, if you oppose what Mr. Manyora has been telling us with regards to the 2022 election, if you think Raila is going to win, tell us why. If you think Ruto is going to be the man of this year.
In a clear video, 3 minutes.
In a clear one.
We'll run it. We'll not even edit it. Just be mindful of your language, mindful of the law, appropriate language, appropriate delivery, good quality video. We will run it without editing it. Tell us why you are convinced Ruto will win. Why Manyora would have been wrong on a certain aspect of Ruto or Raila. Whether you are critiquing or saying he will win, Ruto or Raila. We want to be very objective.
You said we should wait.
Unedited and censored. So long as you are mindful of the language. You don't insult anybody. You don't step on the law. You don't say bad things. You don't say offensive stuff. No, you can say anything you want about Raila without being offensive. We will run it uncensored and edited. And
we do have some views. You know we have views. You know there's so many people that watch us. So many people take our videos and put them as articles. So we have a big reach of people who would like to hear from you. So please get that video in good quality and please show us your face. Don't hide your face. You know people usually go on a dark side.
No. We want to see you. And remember also there are issues of law. You must indemnify us. In other words, you are responsible for what you say. We shall make sure we do not air things that are offensive. But even then, you are responsible for what you say.
If you say anything that is going to...
And we are not paying you for being on our channel.
Yes.
So anybody bringing their video must know we are not paying them for the video. They should not see the views have reached 1 million and say you have to pay us. We are only giving you space. And we are not charging you for the space. It is free. Neither are we paying you for anything. You will not pay us to air your views, neither shall we pay you. We are just opening space for you as a Kenyan to have a conversation with your fellow countrymen.
Instead of that long paragraph on the comment section, just do a video and send it to us. Herman Manyora 22 at gmail.com. Look, Prof, if BBI sails through, though, if it sails through, what will this mean for the judiciary? Martha Koome overturning the judgment of 2 courts. Don't you think it will look bad for her?
You know, when you go to court, my friend, I've already said I expect the High Court to quash that thing. It didn't.
Yes.
I expect the Appeal Court to set aside the High Court ruling. They didn't. When you go to court, please expect either you win or lose. And it has nothing to do with the fact that you are either wrong or guilty or anything. Sometimes courts make mistakes. That's why there's an appellant process. So Martha Koome may agree with his colleagues in the lower courts. She may, on the other hand, her court may, on the other hand, set aside that judgment. What I don't like is what people are already saying. What? You are either with the people or with the BBI. You either going to sacrifice your career or that, and it's coming from senior lawyers. I feel very, very disturbed.
Do you think it will influence her role?
It shouldn't. It shouldn't. People celebrated the other court when they did the other courts. Let the other side celebrate Martha Koome when she says that. That's how it is. They should not hold her at ransom. They are blackmailing the Chief Justice. You've seen things on Twitter. that this is the time for her to prove this. There's nothing to prove. She's looking at the law. She's the final. The only thing is that she's final. And she will have an opinion. A court expresses an opinion. It's an opinion.
Together with the other
judges. The only
judges.
thing now, unfortunately for any side that loses, this is the final opinion. But it's an opinion. They should allow her space to arrive at a decision with her court.
Okay.
Period.
What will the consequence be if she upholds the ruling of the High Court, of the appellate, with regards to issues to do with the IEBC meeting quorum, the initiator of the amendment bill?
There are certain fundamental decisions that were made by the lower courts. Fundamental decisions that have far-reaching consequences. And the Supreme Court is aware that some of these things, perhaps if left unchanged, could spell doom. Maybe. That's how I'm seeing it. And they may choose to see, well, fine. They agree with them. But again, there's a possibility that some of these things are creating a jail for Kenyans. Okay. For example, it becomes almost impossible to amend the Constitution. This has been said, so it's not sub judice. Everybody has said this. People on the other side, and I agree with them. The High Court seems to be saying that we should not amend the Constitution at all because that journey they are trying to set is not achievable. Yeah.
But don't you think the Constitution has its fundamental...
It could also create anarchy, I've seen sometimes. How about if a demagogue follows the route the High Court provided? And you have situations where people are now running in the country, holding constituent assemblies, holding rallies, because government is not supposed to say anything. No. So Manyora, I set myself to engage the people of Kenya, right up to a constituent assembly. That's like a parallel government. So I don't know, they will look at them. They are the learned men and women. I'm not a lawyer. But I believe there are certain fundamental decisions that will need to be made.
The finding on the IEBC meeting quorum, do you think if it upholds the ruling of the appellate, we'll have to relook at other elections that have been carried out?
That's what people have argued. People have argued if IEBC was not properly constituted, then what becomes of the decisions they made?
Even preparation for elections?
Yeah, even this election. You know, sometimes you could be falling into a trap without knowing. The ruling could be made and then somebody could move the same court for advisory. Okay, the Supreme Court says we uphold the ruling of the High Court and the Appeal Court. And then somebody goes for advisory in the same Supreme Court. That in light of this judgment of yours, how do we then proceed with the general election in 20? Then the same court may say, well, it is true that now you can't continue with the election to the extent that some of the actions and processes preceding this general election were done when IEBC was not properly constituted. So it's only at the time the four commissioners enter, the new ones, only from that point are the decisions valid. Anything before that is not valid. And if a lot of the decisions made then affect the coming general election, then the general election cannot be held to the extent of that. And then those who are pushing Supreme Court then begin to realize things are not working in their interest. But let's not speculate too much.
It's a lot of things that will happen after the ruling that we do not...
So these are the things that will inform the
ruling.
The Supreme Court. The Supreme Court will not just look at the law and the spirit. They will look at the politics of the country. They look at public interest. They look at what is in the greater interest of the public. That if we rule this merely on the basis of law, the letter and spirit of the law, merely on the basis of that, then the consequences are we disrupt, for example, an election. They may think the public will be served better by taking a different route, by the court taking a different route. Courts all over the world, especially superior courts, look at the greater picture much more than the lower courts. The lower courts are stuck with the law and the letter. The law, the spirit, and the letter. But the superior courts, in the United States, for example, up to now, the Supreme Court is still not working in the interest of Trump.
Yeah.
Even though he was trying to block some things being produced.
Even though he's the one that put
them. Yeah, he's the one who put them. But they are looking at the big, what is America? In 2002, is it 2002, one of those? Al Gore versus George Bush.
Yeah.
The Supreme Court said words I've never forgotten. They told the Supreme Court of Florida, you need not have ordered a recount. Why? That American electoral circle is almost fixed and cast in stone. If you engage certain processes, certain petitions, you will eat into those timelines.
Okay.
So we better deny somebody a right to a petition than offend this to, you know, Americans.
Yes.
4th of November,
Yes.
4th what of Tuesday, what. We have borrowed a bit of that.
No.
And then the swearing before noon, 20th of January.
Yes.
That if you engage these petitions, you may interfere with those timelines. So the Supreme Court looks at the bigger picture.
And that's what you expect.
And that's why I'm asking lawyers, senior lawyers on the side of those who are anti-BBI, to leave Mother Koome, because she's head of the Superior Court, the Supreme Court, to look at this thing with the public interest in mind. If the public interest coincides with the law, so it's good for her. But if she must offend some people slightly in order to serve the public good, they should understand.
President Uhuru says it's a constitutional moment that is upon us.
Yes.
Maybe we'll wait and see what will unfold. The ruling is on notice. We'll get to know when she'll call the judge, the lawyers back in our chamber, so we can be able to know whether the BBI sails through or not. Until we do have these conversations, have yourself a lovely rest of your day. Remember to send that video 3 minutes, Herman Manyora 22 @gmail.com. Thank you. Have a good day.